Ciao, I'm Lorenzo Palmieri. I'm an architect, a designer, a musician with a second diploma in psychology, and I run my multidisciplinary studio in Milano. At university, it seemed that exists only one way to enrich the project, to arrive to something right in the way of the project. Then, when I start to work, I discovered that every designer has a different method, a different way, a different path to find the right project. So today I think that for everyone there's a specific, a personal way to catch the right project. For someone is write, for someone is studying, for someone is design, for some to draw, or for other people is to study dance or singing or walking or something like this. Everyone has his own personal path to take, to find, to catch the right project. I don't think there's only one way that is always right and forever the same for everyone. For example, in the project of the water bottle, the process, the meta design was guided by meetings with the people of the company, with the people that drive the company, the people that works in the company, and in the same time with their references. I speak about metaphors, symbols, or deep interest in some specific point. For example, they have a very strong connection with the idea of the source of the water, And that is a very, very strong metaphor and very strong symbol for them, and a symbol of purity, for example. Follow this path, we decided together to erase the label from the bottle, to give more emphasis to the idea of transparency and clearness of the water. No one of us wants to drink black water, for example, or a dark water. We connect the idea of good water to the clearness of the water, the transparency. In another way, we can say that the light is strongly connected to the perception of purity of the water. For this, the shape of the bottle was built with a kind of shape that calls the light inside. To me, the important point is not the shape or the style of this bottle, but the kind of service that we can bring with the bottle. A bottle has to disappear when appears in the table of the people. They eat, they speak, they talk together, they stay together. They don't have to lose their time thinking about the bottle or about the designer of the bottle. For me, in a case like this, the most important thing is that the bottle disappear in some way. Make the service in a beautiful, if possible, way. Then there are also technical points very important in this bottle. For example, there's a problem with the bottle in glass always come out that is called scarfing. In the place in which the bottles have a kind of friction between them. It's that kind of line, white line, that sometimes you see everyone found in the bottle in glass. So I bring this defect and I put it in the feet of the bottle in a place there in which it is impossible to see it. At the end, it becomes a kind of the opposite of a defect, because when the white line comes, the light from outside comes more strongly inside the bottle and send more light inside the water. I don't think design is only a matter of technical knowledge, or for sure is not following an ideology, but is a kind of synthesis, personal synthesis, that tries to enrich or to design in some way virtuous behavior of the people, a virtuous behavior of the matter, virtuous behavior of the object in itself. I have designed many different things in different fields, like musical instruments to interior design, like restaurants or stands, exhibition stands, or books or course for the university. That for me also that swims very different topics. At the end, the attitude for making a project still remain always the same for me. That attitude for me flies a little bit up than any singular discipline. Any discipline is very important, of course, and needs experience, study, making mistakes, learn from the mistakes. When I say that the attitude flies a little bit more upper than the disciplines, I mean that we have to build our own way to get the project. Our own way doesn't mean that we have to impose our vision, but is a way to enlarge the vision. It's not a way to make something strange or with a very strong style. It's something to find a view, a special view that goes deeper in the necessity of the people. Learn to design means to have a work for the future, for the present and for the future. Because for sure everything is changing, everything always changes. But the necessity to make project will still remain always, and always will change, but still remain for sure.